Hello, class. Good morning. It is the start of week 4. So happy that the first 3 weeks have gone really, really well. Been very impressed with you, with the whole class. Some of the answers and the work that you're providing has just been outstanding. I've been very, very pleased. So thank you for all your hard work on last week's assignment from week 3. Again, I know there was a lot of information in that, but again, I will definitely have your grades posted by Wednesday of this week. So, but Wednesday at 5 o'clock Eastern time will be my goal. So, as always, I really want to encourage you, if you have questions about any grade that you receive, please, call me, shoot me an email. I'm happy to talk you through it, and I know several of you have reached out to me already, and you had a question or two about your grades, and I love that. I encourage that. So, and there, and sometimes, I can make a mistake, and that can make a result in giving you a higher grade later on. So again, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. I'd rather get it right and make sure you got the grade that you deserve than any mistake that I make on my part. So again, grades for Elastic will be posted by Wednesday of this week. So for week 4, we're looking at attribution and perception. So, two really, really crucial topics for us to discuss. This week we're going to be looking at a lot of things. We're going to be looking at sense-making techniques and shortcuts that we as humans use to make sense of and process different areas of information. Because, we all create our own biases, our own stereotypes, our own views of the world. And sometimes we do that unconsciously, trying to make sense. It's a way our brains cope with the information that we receive. Obviously, we don't want to get in the habit of creating negative stereotypes and negative biases, but those types of things can happen if we're not careful. So it's important for us to recognize what it is and how we can look at it. We want to look at our perception, what it is, and how it's unique from our personality and the other elements of our own individuality. Because again, we all have our own unique characteristics, but it's all created in some type of that's had our personality that's developed our entire lives. So we want to look at it from that perspective. We want to look at different ways to recognize biases and counterbalance those with different techniques. And you'll learn some of these techniques this week about how do we get by some of those tendencies to stereotype it and to look at biases in others. And then finally, we're going to look at some of the ways our brain reacts to things and some of the things that we do that can really help us attribute to these types of social belongings. So again, there's a couple of readings this week that I really want you to pay attention to, but there's a video about fundamental attribution error. And that may be a term you've never heard of, and if it's not, that's perfectly okay. But fundamental attribution error, there's about a 6-minute video that you'll watch this week about that. Make sure you pay very close attention to that, because it might show up later on in the semester on an exam or something. Just throw that out there. So make sure you pay attention to that video as well specifically. And again, so attribution errors and stereotypes are some of the focuses of this week. And later this week on Wednesday, whenever I post your grades, I'm going to post another video for you to watch. It's only like 3 or 4 minutes long. It's one of my favorite YouTube videos, and I use it in some of the classes that I teach about how people stereotype others throughout the world. And even here in the U.S., we obviously stereotype sometimes and not even realize it. So as I told you early in the semester, I work at the University of Illinois. I live in Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, but I'm from Oklahoma originally. I was born and raised in Oklahoma, went to college in Oklahoma, so and only left after when I turned 22. That's when I left Oklahoma for the first time. So whenever I go back to Oklahoma and visit my friends and family, unfortunately, I tend to talk like this a little bit. If you talk to my parents, they tend to talk a little bit like this, and they have a little bit of that kind of Oklahoma accent. And again, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but that's the type of if I go back for like a week at Oklahoma, when I come back to Illinois, I have kind of that accent, because again, that's how all my friends and family talk. And if you hear that, you might automatically create a stereotype on somebody's, the sound of their voice, and oh my gosh, Justin probably doesn't sound as intelligent, or probably Justin sounds kind of backwoods or kind of hickish, if you will. So ever since I left Oklahoma, I've really tried to kind of bury my own accent, because again, it's not that I'm embarrassed by it. It's just, unfortunately, whenever I talk like that, people kind of tend to create their own stereotypes. And I'm not saying people are wrong to create that, but again, it's our brain's way of coping with new information that we receive. But again, you have certain stereotypes. Think about a heavy New York City accent, or think about a heavy Boston accent, or a really heavy Southern accent. Our brains automatically create these views and these ideas of what these people are like. We don't, even with somebody we've never met, we still come up with our own ways of describing people. So just based on something like that. So again, this week's lessons are really about trying to overcome these stereotypes and these biases that we have to create a more holistic view of human nature. So that's going to be our goal this week. If you'll look ahead and see about the assignments this week, it's a pretty heavy assignment week, and I want you to make sure that you really, really devote your time to work this week, because some of the assignments are worth more points than we've ever had all throughout the semester. I think one or two of the assignments actually are like 45 or 50 points. Most of our assignments up to this time have been 10, 15, 20. We're going to get some heavy duty assignments this week. So again, and I want you to pay particular attention to the due dates this week, because the due dates are a little bit different. So the first thing that you're going to do is an attribution and perception assignment, and you'll choose one of three options, but there's 3 steps. So steps 1 and 2 are actually going to be due this Saturday, not next Monday, but steps 1 and 2 for the attribution reflection are due this Saturday by 3 o'clock Eastern time. And then step 3 of that is due Monday at noon, the normal time. So that steps 1 and 2 are due Saturday. Step 3 is due Monday. That's on the attribution reflection. Okay. And then there's also a design it. It's called design it. That's due Monday at noon, or do some digging. Other perception-based shortcuts. That's due Monday. But again, you have 3 options there. Okay, so you can do the attribution reflection, the design at Monday, do some digging. So make sure you pick the one that's most interesting to you. And then obviously we have the lesson 4 quiz that's also due. So if you have any questions about any of the due dates or anything, let me know. But again, make sure you choose one of those 3 options that fits best for you and your schedule. Well, as always, class, again, I'm so happy to be with you this semester. I've been very impressed with the responses I've received. And again, if you're struggling with the class, or if you have any further questions, please let me know. And this is going to be a great weekend for Penn State. I'm sure most of you have heard. Penn State has a big game on Saturday against Auburn University, and College Game Day on ESPN, which is the biggest pregame show in all of college football, is going to be live from State College this Saturday. So check in, turn on ESPN Saturday at 9 a.m. and you'll see how big it is. If you don't watch college football, at least tune in for the first 5 minutes this weekend on College Game Day to see Happy Valley and see Penn State, and then just the craziness that'll be. I would give anything to be able to be there myself. So great weekend for Penn State. So hopefully we beat Auburn this weekend. So great to see everybody. As always, if you have questions, let me know, and we'll talk soon. Bye, everyone.